Hi, Brandtokers. Welcome to another Brandtok session. And today I'm not alone, and it's a beautiful day. We have our favorite person, one of our favorite people in the house today, and I'm talking about Tola Alabi. He's in the building today, and of course, whenever he's around, it's always a fact for us. And if you're not new here, of course, you know him already. He's a constant face around here, and thank you so much for always coming in whenever we call. So in case if you're just meeting him for the first time here, this is Tola Alabi, and he's a thought leader. He's a coach. He's a life coach. He's a mentor, and he's a co-founder for TA Consulting. So I don't know if I missed anything, but did I miss anything in that? So is there something I missed?
No, I don't think you missed anything. And if you missed anything, you can go back to like the other 5 episodes that we've done together and find out something from
that. Exactly. Okay. So today it's quite an interesting topic because it's honestly, till I hear you say that, during the last clubhouse session, which bettered this conversation, I've not heard anyone talk about business in that aspect. And so, just a recap, so I don't get my viewers confused. We are talking about business. Operating business as a lifestyle versus operating as a strategy. And this is from what I heard you say in your last clubhouse session, of which I was very fortunate and privileged to be part of. And you made something quite remarkable. You made a remarkable statement in the sense and I'm just paraphrasing here, you said business should be treated more as a lifestyle than a strategy. And I know we'll have more to digest on that, but I just want to quickly get you to, what does it mean when you say treating business as a lifestyle versus a strategy? Can we just start from that angle?
Oh yeah, I guess it's best to just go straight into it. I've been doing business now for about I think this is my 18th year, and along the line, I've come to understand that business can be hard, and generally business is hard. But a lot of times we make it's not hard by virtue of the fact that it's a hard task for us to do, but it's hard by virtue of the fact that we approach it in a very against the grain way. And when I mean against the grain, it means that we approach it in a very difficult way. You understand? Okay. So it's like if you are walking through, it's easy to walk in a crowd where you are walking in the same direction with the crowd. But when you have to walk in a crowd against the crowd, you're going to get a lot of pushback. You understand? And that's how we approach business. And I realized that a lot of people from consulting, a lot of business owners from consulting with them, I realized that a lot of them get very easily fatigued, they get easily stressed. Some of them get depressed from their businesses. And in real dire situation, you have people that take their lives by virtue of the fact that the business has stressed them. And that's very unfortunate, because the truth is that business was not created by God to take our lives. It was created to make life better. So it's a gift, but you now wonder why it acts like a curse in a lot of people's lives, whereby when you're doing business, it affects your marriage life. You do business, it affects your relationship with your kids. It wasn't given to distort your life. It was given to bring things together and to make your life have more meaning. And so I realized that there are 2 ways of doing business. There is doing business against the grain, and there's doing business with the grain. And when I say against the grain of your life, and doing business with the grain of your life. And that's where I talk about doing business from an understanding of knowing who you are, what's special about you, what your lifestyle is like, and what fits into your lifestyle and what doesn't fit, and adopting those things that fit and complement and makes you and kind of fosters your values, as against adopting those things that are learned and are forced and are erroneously taken as general principles and not individual principles. So I realize that people go into business, they read a book and everything in the book is so generalized. And then you realize that the book, number one, was written by a guy in 1942. Then, not only was it written by a guy, it was written by a guy and a woman is reading it. So the timeline is off, the gender is off. Then it's written by a guy in Australia and is read by a woman in Nigeria. You understand? So the timeline is off, the gender is off, the location is off. And then you apply these things and they don't work, and you're now wondering, is this what business is like? You understand? And we realize that as good as it is to read books, we must learn to read the books that align with the grain. You understand? So you must know yourself first and know what aligns with you. And that's what I mean by business should be inspired by lifestyle rather than business strategy. And I think there's something I should clarify here. There's always strategy. There's always strategy. So I think we're just saying this just so that we can compartmentalize it well. Even when you do business as a lifestyle, it's strategy. When you do business as something that is learned or something that is from some kind of acquired knowledge from somebody, it's still strategy. But I'm just saying we should adopt a strategy that is more of a lifestyle strategy rather than adopting a strategy that is more of an abstract learned strategy.
Okay. So I'm very happy you said something about, the reading books part, because I was when you were talking, it just came to my mind, because a lot of us as business owners here in Nigeria, we read a lot of books, we read a lot of content in terms of marketing, in terms of business building and all that. And most of these have been from foreigners, like from people that have lived 100 years apart from outside, 100 years gap and all. And we've read, of course, just like you stated, in different geopolitical zones, sometimes different genders and all that. So my question is this: is this because we won't blame the business owners? I don't think there's enough of our own content out there, or there's very few in terms of the very few people doing generating content from our end. I honestly don't know how many, from giving the Nigerian point of view. Let's just forget about the gender right now. Let's just talk about from the Nigerian point of view, right? Because the business owner in Nigeria, whether you are Dangote, whether you are Tedola, we all, in the past 2 months, we all faced the same fuel scarcity. We all faced the same blackout and all. We all faced so many other issues that is very, very particular to Nigeria. So it isn't that, and what I don't know, I'll just ask your opinion. I feel like that is an issue, and that is why businesses tend to just grab onto what they can find, what they can read from this guy, that guy. We still read books from Dale Kenji, as an amazing as he is, but that's over 100 years gap has passed and all that. So what sort of solution, what do you see as a solution to this? I'll just say, in your own point of view.
Yeah, you make a very good point there. The truth is, we don't have a lot of people creating content that is relevant to our unique African experience, then unique Nigerian experience. You understand? Yeah. So, and that's because we are in a society that is very consumer minded in everything. It's not just with books, with technology, with fashion, with music. It's very consumer minded. You understand? So we would rather consume than create. You understand? So that itself is a basic problem that we have in this side of the world. But you know what? The truth is, intellect doesn't start with reading. And I think as important as reading is, I think we kind of over prioritize reading. Reading is very important, but we over prioritize it as a medium or as a channel to building intellect. But it's not the highest form of acquiring or expanding your intellect as a person. So you see, before books, what were people doing? You understand? Books. God did not create the world and say on the 8th day God created books. You understand?
True.
You understand? Books did not come till very much later. So how were people building intellect before books? How did people create fire? You understand? Before books, because fire was created way before anybody said, "Oh, this is a book on how to." So you see, the most important thing is not in our writing of books. The most important thing is our development of thinking. That's the most important thing. Is our development of taking time to think. You don't need books to be a good business person. In fact, you have business people that are illiterate. They cannot read. They can't read, but they can think. Do you understand? And this is where, I want to talk about the fact that for us to understand that business can be a form of lifestyle, as in business should be inspired by lifestyle. We must come to terms with what I'm going to say right now. And that is the fact that coming into this earth, we are equipped with everything we need to thrive and succeed. Everything we need is factory fitted. Everything we need, equipped with it. The moment you were born, you were equipped to thrive here on earth. Nobody is disadvantaged in a sense. Nobody is disadvantaged. We're all equipped. It's just like, when we get a phone. When you get a phone, maybe an iPhone or a Samsung, you see, the fact that that thing has left the factory, it means that it has gone through quality control. Somebody has checked it and said, "Oh, this food, it might be a person, it might be a machine, whatever it is." But before it leaves that factory facility and goes out into the market, they vetted it that this thing is good enough to go into the market and serve its purpose. And that's why when someone buys a phone and you plug it and it explodes and it causes somebody to be harmed or killed, they can sue the company because you vetted that this thing is good enough to go into society and be of value. So, and the same thing too, when you are born, it's like you're coming from a factory. So when you come into the world, you're coming to a market and you're given everything you need to succeed. Everything in terms of intellectual capacity, in terms of physical attributes, in terms of, everything that makes you the country you're situated in, everything adds together to make you a successful person. So You see, the most important thing is not in but the problem we have is we look for our value from without and not from within. So you see, when someone wants to start a business, and I want to start a design business, stuff like someone now, the first thing we try to do is get books on design. You understand? Try to get books and material from the outside of design. That's not where it starts. It starts from within you. So you need to check within yourself and see, okay, what makes me capable to be a designer? How am I thinking? How do I think? What are the unfair advantages I have? When I say unfair advantage, what am I born with that the other person is not born with, that makes me have an unfair advantage over him to go into design? Do you understand? You now realize those things. Oh, I have an eye for detail. I have a knack for colors. I have the ability to draw. That's what now inspires the books you go out to get. You understand? The knowledge of what you know you have is what fosters your ability. So you see, it's not about us writing books, and it will be good for us to write books. But then I feel like it first comes with an introspection. You need to look into yourself and say, who am I? What do I know how to do? You understand? What am I being equipped from the factory to be able to do? That all I just need to do is just discover it. You understand? Just discover it. And another, I would say, the first business book anybody should get, even if you want to acquire books, the first business book you need to get is a self-discovery business book. A book that tells you how to discover yourself. Not a book that tells you about the industry. You understand? Not a marketing book. A lot of people that go into business look for marketing books. They look for negotiation books. They look for sales books. They look for communication books. Those books are important, but they are at the far end of the conveyor belt, not at the beginning. The beginning, the first business book every person that says, I want to go into business should be a self-discovery book. Just like a book like Why You Act the Way You Do by Tim LaHaye. Every business person should read that book. Before you start reading any business, just read that book. So that you understand yourself and know what category you are as a person. Know what your strengths are. Know what your weaknesses are. Know how you think. Know the people you get along with. Those are the things you need to know going into businesses. In business, every other thing is, by the way, there are fringe benefits. But the most important thing is knowing who you are. That's what directs your lifestyle. And that's what should help you to do business in the long run without getting stressed.
It's almost like we say it in like outside business. Maybe let's use a relationship setting. Before you choose a partner, you should understand yourself, so as to understand the sort of person you want, or the sort of person you want in your life. So that's the same way we do it in business. You should understand yourself first, and then when you go out there to take in this content and all, like the content should be tailored to your unique personality, should be tailored to your values, should be tailored to the things you put. So that, I think there comes the issue, because we've been just like you said, we grew up in an environment that, unfortunately, still today it's kind of like promotes this. The external is better. Like, just look external, do not look internal. Look external, look at other people. Social media is already telling us that. Look at other people, look at the Western world, like theirs is better than ours. Just explore from them and all that. And it's made it quite difficult for us to actually internalize or have that African voice, or have that Nigerian voice, or have that even in the Nigerian context, that individual voice per se. And this brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, because you made an interesting illustration, which is something that, when I first started business, I battled a lot with it, and that is this word networking. You said something interesting about it, and I know back then books and all the others, conferences and all that, people are encouraging, go out there, network, meet people and stuff like that. And I found it pretty difficult. When I tried it, I remember the time I tried it, I went with my card and everything. I just came back feeling, I felt, I don't know, I can't even put, but there was no significant connection made from that. And I'm asking, how can I just go to a random stranger and say, hey, my name is Ojibe and I do this, I do that, here's my card. If I reverse it, I'm going to feel like, I'm going to feel used. Like, okay, are you just coming to, like, you're looking at my pocket, or you just want to get something from me? I'm going to look at it that you just want to get something from me. So, but you said something which I want you to like buttress more in terms of like this issue of networking as a lifestyle. How do we better approach it, business, tailored to business and our lifestyle?
Yeah. And I think that's a good issue to talk about, because it's one of the biggest frustrations that some people have when it comes to business, and it's one of the things that is being propagated out there, that everybody that is into business must be some form of extroverted. You understand? So go out and meet people, go for events, put your cards out there, that kind of thing. And then in the end, people become to you a means to an end. So when you see people, what you see is wallets. You see wallets walking about. You don't see people anymore. You just see you see wallets and purses. That's what you see. And that's a very faulty way of looking at the world. It's a distorted way of looking at the world. It's not the way we should look at the world, because it denies empathy. You understand? There is no empathy. And empathy is rooted in understanding. Understanding is based on conversations. Conversations are based on the ability to listen and to reply what you've heard. You understand? So it's and this is where you see people kind of say, you can do business as a learned strategy of, I need to go out this Saturday for this GTB food, whatever that they have, and just take my card. I'm sure to meet somebody there. And you see, when you meet people there, you give them your card, you go back home and wait on your phone for people to call you, and nobody calls you. And then you feel disappointed. You feel disappointed. Then after that was that GTB stuff. Nothing came out of it. Nothing came out of it because nobody called you to ask you to engage in business. And that's a very shallow way of looking at life. You understand? And that means that you've limited people to payment. So if someone is not willing to pay you, the relationship is not worthwhile. And that there is the pitfall of learned strategy, business strategy, where it becomes do this and then you get this in return. And I would say business should be a lifestyle. Instead of networking in a learned way where it now becomes forced, I would say have conversations. Don't even think of it as networking. Have conversations, because networking is it's so based on getting something. That word in itself doesn't mean how to meet somebody who can be that mentality. Say, oh, your network is your network. Exactly. But you know, why must you pigeonhole people to contributing to your worth? You understand? Whether it's your financial worth or your social worth. You understand? And which is where I'm going to come to. Instead of networking, have conversations, meet people, talk with people, be genuinely interested, and this is where you see the learned business strategy would not tell you when you get into a bus to strike up a conversation with the conductor. You understand?
True.
Because to you, the conductor is a dead end. That's what you think. The conductor is a dead end. It's a dead end. Because you feel, I'm doing better than this guy. This guy is not going to help me in my business. He cannot even afford my service. My service is 150 per whatever it is you are doing. This guy earns maybe 10K a month. You don't need to talk with him. I'm not networking with him. So you wouldn't see talking with a conductor as networking. But that's because we have this tunnel vision of summing up people by where we see them now, and not knowing that conductor, if not by virtue of anything, could become a millionaire tomorrow. You know, just by virtue of the fact that something has changed. And he might not even become a millionaire, but his story, his life story can be something you can learn and say, oh, I should learn to do this or learn not to do this. You understand? So you can always gain. And that's where business comes from. You know, business comes from being able to interact. You see, I had an experience a very long time ago. He was a young man. When I say young man, because I had graduated from university then. And he was in secondary school. Not only was he in secondary school, he was in GSS 2. And he saw me. We went to the same church. And he said, well, Tola, how you doing? I'd like to have a conversation with you, just talk with you. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's talk, no problem. But you see, in my mind, I was thinking, look, I'm a university graduate. This guy is in GSS 2. What can he have to talk about? But then I scheduled a day with him. I said, come and meet me on Monday, let's talk. And he showed up. He came on Monday and he met with me. And he started talking. I said, oh, I'm really interested in what you do. Oh, you're a designer. Can you tell me more about design and stuff, how you got into it and stuff, the design industry? And I remember we had a conversation for almost 4 hours. 4 hours. But in the end, I felt exhausted after having this conversation. And he went to me and said, I really enjoyed talking with you, Mr. Tola. Thank you very much. And he left. You see, the truth is, if I thought of that, I would have thought, oh, this guy just wasted my time today. That was not productive business time. It wasn't productive business, but that guy is in JSS 2. He collects pocket money. Doesn't make any money. You understand? What's he going to do for my business? But he went. You know, this guy came back 2 weeks later, about 2 or 3 weeks later, and said, Mr. Tola, you know what? I have a job for you. And I was thinking, what kind of job can this guy have? And he said, I have this person in my class whose dad runs this stuff. And she was telling me that her dad wants someone to help him with the logo for his business. And I told her that I know someone that does good logos. And she said that I should give you her number. I said so that she can give the dad. And you know, true to fact, the dad called me. The dad actually called me.
Wow.
The girl's dad called me and said, you know what, my daughter said I need to work with you because one of our classmates says you're a very, very good designer. And we did this job, and this guy paid very highly for this job. Do you understand? He paid very well for this job. All I was doing was having a conversation with a boy in JSS 2. It wasn't networking. It wasn't association of entrepreneurs. You understand? It wasn't a place where people were wearing suit and tie. It was a conversation. You understand? With somebody that on a good day should be a dead end. You see? So sometimes we pray that God, oh God, bless my business. God bless me as I go out to go and share my flyers, as I go out to share my business cards. But it's not about your flyers or your business card. It's about genuine interest in talking with people and making them understand your values and why you do stuff. It's about your lifestyle. And that's why I say we have everything we need to thrive. Everything. IK, you're sitting in your house right now, you're in a particular area in Abuja, and you're in Nigeria. Everything you need to thrive is there. Within that your compound, everything you need to thrive is there. It might be right in your house, it might be your brother, your mother, your sister, you understand, your gate man, the guys. Look, those guys are there to help you thrive. They are not there by accident. So what God is telling you is live your life. As you live your life, you begin to see ways in which success will begin to come without you trying to say, I'm going out right now and I need to live where I am. My Tama is where rich people are. Let me go to my Tama. You go to my Tama and you get stressed. You understand? And you have people insult you because you are trying too hard. And now people say, business is not easy. People will insult you. It's not true. People don't have to insult you in business. People are insulting you in business because you are going against the grain. Do you understand? It is not true. You see, the hard thing about business is letting go of our mentality that we need to do things in a particular way to make it work. No, the hardest thing about business is calming down and understanding that I have everything around me to make it work. Everything. I just need to dig deep down inside and find out those things and begin to see things naturally. I remember and the time we had the last clubhouse we had, and I was talking about architecture. And you know, there's a guy who an architect from Burkina Faso, and he won the Pritzker Prize. And the Pritzker Prize is the highest award in architecture. Any architect can win the highest. It's like the Oscar or Grammys of architecture. And he won it. First black man to win it, first African to win it. But you know, I've been following the content for a while. And you know, one thing I like about this content is that when he builds in Africa, he uses material it doesn't source for material outside of the locality he's building in. You understand? And that's very important. And that's why what he realizes that everything he needs to build a structure is already in the location. You don't need to buy stuff from China or buy stuff from no, it's already there. Just open your eyes. And that's one of the biggest problems we have here in Africa. You see, we use things that are adopted that don't work for us. And these things make our life stressful. Because the way we build our house is the way they build their house in the US. And because it's the way they build their house in the US or the way they build their house in the West, our weathers are not the same. So when it's hot here, it's terribly hot. And then we spend so much money on energy trying to generate energy to maintain a particular climatic condition in the house. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. When in actual fact, what we should be using is natural material here that helps us to enjoy our weather here. You understand? And that's the same thing in business. It's not about reaching out. It's about reaching in. You understand? It's about knowing who you are. And when you know who you are, you know the position you're meant to play. And that's why even if you know yourself, not everybody is meant to own a business. That's the reality. Sure. You understand? But once you pick up a book, it kind of tells you that everybody can own a business. Just do this particular thing. You understand? But not everybody should own a business. Some people should help bring ideas to a business, but they shouldn't be the CEOs making critical decisions. You understand? They're the ideas people, and they need their privacy to be able to think. They don't want to be networking, interacting with people. All they need is time alone in themselves. Give them their room. Don't disturb them. Don't just come up for ideas. All they need is just interaction with the MD. They don't want to talk with any other person. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just if you don't know that the ideas person would think is the one that is meant to go out and sharing flyers. You think is the one that is meant to be going out and meeting people. Then he comes back home and is so frustrated and like, man, I can't go for another event tomorrow because I'm so drained by this. You understand? So we must know ourselves and know what works with our lifestyle. Once you understand what works with your lifestyle, you understand how to make your business work for you. You understand? You understand what position you have to play in a business, and just know that, okay, you know what? My business is to give ideas to people. My business is not to be the person creating or implementing the ideas. You understand? My business is to motivate people. My business is not to be the one writing the proposals and coming up with, the accounting of the company. You understand? But that only comes from knowing who you are and what your strengths are. Once you know that, every other thing is how much you are willing to make yourself available to doing those things that you want to do.
It's just interesting. I was recently in a men's forum, in a men's business forum here in Abuja, and one thing I kept hearing, at least more than 50% of the panelists, they kept saying this thing about, as everybody, okay, the first thing is that everybody must own a business, that you must own a business. And when I look at it, they look at business in the terms of like, you must own a business whereby that you go out, you leave your house in the morning, go to a particular structure where you've paid for, or a space where you've paid for and all. And I keep hearing this, that this whole working from home thing doesn't or that you're building your business from your place and all that you must have this space outside there where you go meet with people, interact with people, go to places where you share your business cards and all that. And from where I was sitting, I was looking at the faces of some of the people seated, and I could tell, because even from the conversation we had after the forum, that not everybody was, because there are people that are introverts, and just like you said, they don't want to they find it difficult, or they wouldn't want to leave their space to go out and start telling people to hey, this is what I do, this is what I do. And one interesting conversation I had, that people say more like they like to live their life and see things naturally flow. Like, let's have conversation. Let's see me as someone that is valuable to you, and let's connect from there. That is why I can, from my house, work for people all around the world. But if in 2022, I actually thought that 2020 COVID taught us something, because everybody was shut down, nobody was going out. But if in 2022 that we still have business experts, quote unquote, well, these are here in Abuja talking about renting spaces, moving out, and going out all the time, and every morning you leave your house. There must be, it still goes to what you talked about, that we still look at these external things, and because they probably heard it from somewhere, and I don't know. I just want to know what's your opinion on that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was talking with somebody 2 days ago, and we were talking about coaching, and she was like, everybody's a coach these days. Everybody's a coach. It's like the most bastardized thing out there right now. The most bastardized term, our professional term out there, is coaching. You understand? Because everybody's a coach, and it's so easy to become a coach. Just read a book. Some people just read one book, one John Maxwell book, and they become business coaches. They become leadership coaches.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's very erroneous thinking. Do you understand? So a lot of times it is not, people are divulging things that they have not deeply thought about, they have not implemented in their own lives, and they just feel it sounds well, it sounds good. So a lot of people fall for what seems to be motivational speaking right now, and that mentality, everybody should own a business. Not only should everybody own a business, everybody should have multiple streams of income. You understand? It's one of those things that makes people frustrated when they embark on running a business. Because in the end, when you look at yourself as a business, you kind of think, oh, if this person is saying everybody must have a space, must start from a business space, or else you are not serious, then it means that my business is not doing well. Do you understand? And that's why people start to make decisions that are very burdensome. So people go out and take loans that they cannot service. You understand? They go out and take loans that they cannot service, loans either from financial institutions or from family members, because they want to look a particular path starting out a business. And then they realize 1 year down the line, oh, I can't pay this thing. Then they run away. You understand? You can't find them anymore. You see, it's that undue pressure of not knowing yourself and not being comfortable with your own journey and not doing business as a form of lifestyle. You see, business is not something you wear. It's not something you wear. It's something you are. So if you are approaching business as like makeup, sometimes it's going to be inconveniencing for you. And I'll use this makeup. What I mean by makeup is, women, makeup makes them look good. You understand? Makeup makes them look good, but for a lot of them, makeup is highly inconveniencing. So is the network still good?
Yes, it's still good.
Okay, all right. So for a lot of women, makeup can be highly inconveniencing, even though it makes them look good. So you see, if a woman has an appointment and she has to go for that appointment, she wants to impress them, she'll put on her best makeup. But after going for that appointment and she has done it, she's impressed them and stuff, when she gets home, one of the first things she does is clean off the makeup. She cleans it off so that she can relax and be herself. But imagine if she gets home after cleaning up the makeup, 5 minutes later, someone else calls her and says, "You have this important appointment right now. Can you come back to our office?" She has to put back that makeup on. That now becomes stressful because she just put it off. Then she puts it back on again and goes back there and meets with them. And then she goes back home again, puts it off. And then 2 minutes later, they call, "Oh, we forgot something. Please, can you come back? This our chairman wants to meet with you." And she puts on that makeup again. At the end of the day, when that woman goes to bed, she's going to be very tired because she has done something that is unnatural 3 times. Do you understand? But imagine if all she had to do was just put on her shoes and just go. Do you understand? At the end of the day, she goes to bed and the only stress will be making herself available. Not that activity of putting up stuff. And that's how people run business a lot. Business is so much activity for them that they have to put it on. So they have to put on that smile or put on that smile. You understand? Put on that suit. Go to that office. You understand? And these things are so against the grain that it gets to a place where when you call a business person and the business person say, please, call me tomorrow morning. We can't do this right now because the person is tired already. You don't get tired from doing business when it's a lifestyle. You see, for me, talking, motivating people is a lifestyle. I love doing it. I do it with my children. I do it with my wife. I do it with myself. So when someone calls me at 11 o'clock and sends me a voice message, sometimes my wife says, "Are you sending voice messages to people at 11 p.m.? I'm like, yeah, I am. Because for me, it's not business. It is me. This is what I love to do. You understand? So I do it and I'm happy and I'm fulfilled. It's not me saying, "Oh man, I just said that you rest." No. For me, even doing it is rest. Do you understand? And then I will go back to the Bible. So please forgive me. There is a part in the Bible where Jesus went to a well and says the disciples went to go and look for food for him. And he met this Samaritan woman and was talking with her. And remember, he was hungry. The reason why he stopped at the well was because they could go and get food. So there was hunger there. So he was talking with the woman, and if you read the Bible, if you read the story, he told her about how she has had many husbands and the person she's living with is not even her husband and stuff. And she was so amazed, went to go and call people. And when the disciples came, he said, "Jesus, here's the food now. Aren't you hungry?" He said, "I'm not hungry anymore. I feel full just doing my Father's business." You understand? So it means that what Jesus was doing was not against the grain. In fact, it energized him to heal, to preach, and to teach. That's the same way your business should energize you. It's not a matter of, "Oh, I can't wait for 4 o'clock. I can't wait to close. I can't wait for weekend. I can't wait not to come to work." No. When business is a lifestyle, you can't wait to go to work. You understand? In fact, you are working every time. You are working every time. You are working when you are talking. You are working when you are watching TV. You are working because you are always in business mode. Because it's lifestyle mode. It's who you are. You see, and that's why I kind of look at animals. A dog's business, at least not this. No, even the small dog, their business is to secure, is to be territorial, is to protect, is to guard. They don't work at it. They just do it. You understand? They just do it. If you try to bark like a dog, you will lose your voice. If a dog should bark from morning till night, it will never lose his voice.
Yeah.
Or lose or hurt his his throat or stuff like that. A dog doesn't take Strepsils because he's barking. Do you understand? It doesn't, because that's his life. You understand? And that's why we say, oh, I like the bark of that dog. And you're like, let's buy that dog, and you feed that dog. But that dog is just doing what it does on a good day. Do you understand? A lion doesn't need to go to the gym to be intimidating.
True.
It's intimidating by nature. By nature, it's intimidating. All it needs to do is just eat and grow. Do you understand? But some people pay money to go and see the intimidating nature of a lion, which a lion doesn't work for. It just does it. You understand? A bird doesn't need to go to flying school to fly. Do you understand? It flies. When the time is right, it flies. You understand? It flies, it glides, it does everything it needs to do. So why is it we human beings that feel like we need external help to be who we ought to be? That's the most stressful thing about business. We always feel we are not good enough to do it. And that's why coaches are taking so much money from people. So much money from people, because people are so insecure about them being enough. And I'm saying, okay, if I spent enough time thinking about who I am, reflecting about my journey, being cognizant of what is around me as resources to help me to thrive, I will know what I'm meant to be doing in life. But a lot of times we feel we need to go for this person's coaching course, that person's training, that person's business coach, buy this person's business manual. And before we know it, we have a cocktail of ideas that are not ours. We have a bird teaching a lion how to roar. We have a polar bear teaching a lion how to adapt in the jungle. What does the polar bear know about adapting in the jungle? You understand what I'm saying? So it's all rooted in knowing who we are as people. Once you know who you are as a person, you will thrive. You will thrive.
I think it's interesting, this analogy you made, or this illustration you made with the animals versus humans, because I believe it was Jordan Peterson I heard said this once. I think the bane of humanity is that we are the only, in the whole animal scale, like we're the only animals, quote unquote, that can adapt or can evolve, like we can change. Because that, just like you said, a lion will never go eating banana, because that's not who I am, or will never go eating a grass, or will never want to start bleating like a goat, or start barking like a dog. But you see, so they as animals, they know who they are, what they do, and then they just focus on that. But as humans, like we see Africans now want to be Westerners, and then we want to talk a certain way, dress a certain way, because we want to look the part. It's more of like a reputation thing now. I want you to see. So we've taken, let me use the design word, we've taken branding as more of a reputation thing, as against being a character thing or like a relationship thing. Like now it's a reputation because I want people to see me this certain way. So I want to evolve as a human, as I want to adopt and then or adapt and have this, put this attribute. Oh, I don't think this is, I don't think that being an Igbo person and my Igbo accent when I speak English, I don't think it's fine. I need to watch a lot of London English speaking courses and all that. So I know how to tell her now, okay, now speaking more British, like speaking more English than a British, you know. So I think it's the problem for us. So it's a problem for us, and I think, I don't know if it's the issue of colonialism, because it seems that this is something Africa, it's more targeted towards Africa per se, because I don't see the Westerners like the most of this thing I see we are the ones taking them in. We are the ones trying to change a lot of things, and they are the ones telling us, oh, okay, now start wearing suits to work, because you look more professional when you wear suits to work, or you look more this when you do this. So
yeah, whether or not it's suit our weather or not.
It's very hot in Abuja now. Why would I want to wear a suit? Like, it's crazy. So I think we need to find our souls as Africans, as Nigerians, as individuals. We need to find ourselves and all. We need to find ourselves. And it's interesting, like still talking about God, because if the Bible, the entire analogy of whether Christian or knowing about God is based on a personal relationship. He doesn't want to know the family. Like it's not a relationship with the family. It's boiled down to a personal relationship. Individually, it's like a custom relationship. Using your own strength, your own weaknesses, your personalized strength and weaknesses, and making you someone out of it, and not so. If we use like using God, like I always say, He's all powerful and all that. If he focuses on personality, or more of like a personal relationship in terms of building whatever He wants to build with us, using our personality, He doesn't see me like IK. He understands the weaknesses I have. He understands the strength I have. Say no, you're not enough. Let me find go and get the strength of Tola. Go and get the strength of Miriam. Go and get the strength of this person. And then, no, he sees you. He uses your strength, whatever it is you have. That's what, and just like you said now, He said that He has given us everything. So already we all have that everything that we need to survive. Just like you said, we need to thrive. So it's a soul session. We just need to have that soul session moment and all. And I don't know. I just hope that so for someone watching this right now, you're having that, because I can tell the societal pressure is too much. Like the societal pressure, like you're expected to do this, you're expected to do that, and it's just. So someone might be watching like, how do I deal with this? I don't know if you have anything to add. Like, how do I deal with this societal pressure? Like I always say, social media has just blown everything out of proportion. Like you can't just scroll one or two without someone showing you how fabulous their life is or how fabulous their office is, and then you look at yourself. I'm working from home, or I'm building this business from my garage, or anything. Like we no longer remember the stories of Apple. I know that started from garages and all their homes and stuff like that, or Facebook that started from his dorm room. Now we're now looking at Bello. We're now looking at Bello on Instagram, that he has this fabulous office and all that. And how do we deal with it? As individuals, and maybe this is something I'm struggling with. How do I deal with this?
That's a good question. How do you deal with this pressure, these external pressures that kind of build internal pressure within us? And this advice I would give people: if you want to deal with external pressure, there are two things you should do. Be very conscious of the first thing you allow into your mind when you wake up in the morning. Very important. Your waking thoughts or your waking content is very important. So that's why it's very dangerous, highly dangerous, to wake up in the morning and go to your phone and check social media. In itself, the action in itself is not bad, but the repercussions of the action is what is scary. You understand? The fact that you can go there and the first thing you start your day with is comparison between your life and someone else's life. It's very dangerous, because it's going to spiral down. That's what your mind will feed on. It's going to be hard to shake it off the rest of the day. Very, very hard. So your waking content is very important. And I would advise people, your waking content should be something that helps you understand you better. So if you're a Christian, I advise your waking content should be reading the Bible, or listening to the Bible, or listening to a message. Very important. You understand? Very important. These things make a world of difference between how you are going to, because those external pressures, they will come no matter what they will come. They are waiting for you. Once you open the door of your house, they are waiting for you. You understand? It's what you are equipped with to meet with them. That's the most important thing. So you can never cancel out external pressures. They're there. Even if you don't go on social media, your parents are there, your friends are there. They're there. They're there waiting for you. You understand? So what you open your mind to first before they come in is it your Bible? Is it your Quran? If you read the Quran, if it helps you get peace, that's good. Is it a book you are reading that a self-help book, if that helps you, good. But it cannot be something that opens your eyes to other people's opinions or other people's progress. You understand? It can be very dangerous. So what you wake up with, very important. The second thing is what you sleep to. Very important. So what you watch before you sleep or what you listen to before you sleep influences how you wake up in the first place. So, you can sleep watching the latest Davido video or just scrolling on Instagram. A lot of people sleep up that way, just scroll before they slept off. Your brain doesn't sleep. When you're asleep, your brain is like, okay, it's time to work on the thoughts that have been given to me. And a lot of the thoughts that your brain will work on are the last thoughts. So if you think about, see how good Folake's life is better than your own life, and to feed on that for the 8 hours to 6 or 7 hours that you sleep. So by the time you wake up, you're like, oh, my life is a mess. You don't even know where that's coming from. But your brain has been telling you Folake's life is better than your life. You're not progressing. So when you wake up, you have 6 hours worth of Folake's life is better than your life. You understand? And that's why it's good to sleep to something that helps you. That's why it's also good to sleep to what you read in the Bible. Think about it. So as I was saying that what can help you is the content you allow first thing in the morning and last thing at night. Those are the things that make everything in between in the day make sense. You understand? Or gives you the strength and the courage to even fight those external pressures in the long run.
And it's just interesting, because rounding up, I just want us to talk about this because I think it's important, and going to what you said about what you wake up with and what you sleep to, because one of the things the system, the world system has encouraged us is to constantly substitute our peace of mind for something materialistic or something that doesn't even, because I believe that aside from, I'm a Christian, aside from God, aside from your family, and aside from your purpose, nothing else should be a do or die affair. Nothing else should bother you in this life. Nothing else should be termed primary or very important in this life. But the world system has continuously made it encourage us to substitute our peace of mind for the cars, the houses, the jobs. Like when you lose a job, it's almost as if you're going to have a heart attack because you lost a job. Or when you lose a business deal, it's almost as if like the world has ended because you've lost a business deal. So maybe let's just end on this. I think I would just say generally everybody, because it's not just only business people, employees also go through this. Like we've downplayed or underrated the value of peace when it comes to our life, whether as business people or employees. Like I don't know what your take on that, but I believe that we've downplayed the value of peace, and that has resulted to someone trying to be constantly on Instagram. Like, so you see someone, okay, I'm a content creator, I want to constantly following all these people. Like, and when you look at yourself, you just started last year or just started like 6 months ago, but you're putting so much pressure on yourself and your journey, and because you keep looking at other people, social media has allowed you that you look at other people. In a sense, you're losing your peace because you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be. Hello? Okay, I think...
I can hear you. I can.
Oh, okay. So, what's the how is this? Okay, I'll just phrase it this way: like, how important is peace, and why do you think that we've made it? I know, of course, the word system, but why do you think that people just easily fall to this system of always substituting their peace for something that doesn't really that is not important?
Yeah, and I think what you said is true, but the absence of peace is really based on our need to control things, our need to control the outcome of things, to control the process of things, to control the eventualities. That's where a lack of peace comes from. A lack of peace comes from a need to control. And I guess if you really want to have peace, you must know that you are not in control. you understand? You are not in control. And peace really comes from knowing that the person who is in control is able to take control, is able to lead everything into a good, fruitful outcome. You understand? That's where peace comes from. You see, why do people have anxiety on planes when they are flying? It's because, number one, it's like you're not, when you're up in the air, you're like, okay, if anything happens now, I can't jump out. You understand? There's no control in, if anything's happening here, I can't jump out. That's a lack of control. So that in itself brings a type of tension. And that thing is, you cannot see the person that is flying the plane. You can't see the pilot. It's locked up in one place. So like, I don't even know the person. I don't know their state of mind. I don't know that kind of thing. So you see, a total lack of control is what makes flying very, very hard. And it makes it very terrifying for a lot of people, unlike going on road. Because when you're going on road, they're like, okay, I'm sitting close to the door. At least if everything should happen, I open the door and jump out.
Yeah.
If I see the driver sleeping, I can wake him up, you understand, and tap him.
True.
So there's some false control, a false sense of control is there. You understand? But you see, it's in trust and knowing that I don't have control. But I trust that this pilot that is driving me is experienced. I decide to trust that this pilot driving me is experienced. And that's the same way we must know that the pilot of our lives too is experienced. He knows what he's doing. Do you understand? And that's where peace can come from. But a lack of peace comes from you striving to make things happen yourself. So you kind of feel like, oh, if I don't have this job, I will go hungry. That's a lie. You understand? Because there are a lot of other jobs out there. But that mentality that bosses have fed people that are, this jobs are hard to find out there. You don't have it. If you lose this job, people are looking for jobs out there. Once you let that seep into your mind, then you kind of start feeling like you don't have control in life anymore. So you're like, this job is what puts my life in control. But once you are like, if I lose this job, by some means, the person in control will find a way to continue to sustain me. Then you wouldn't stand for things in jobs that you shouldn't stand for. So when you get employed to a job that tells you you're working 8 to 5 and you start working 8 to 8, you can easily say, oh, I can't do this, or else I'm working. But a lot of people stick with conditions that are bad because they feel like those jobs are the things that are sustaining them. But I think once we kind of understand the fact that sustenance is not from us, God sustains us, we will make clearer decisions. You understand? That fear of saying, oh, I'm going to go broke, and when I go broke, I'm going to pay my rent, I'm going to do this. We already have a domino effect of what will happen if we lose a job. We always think, once I lose this job, I won't pay my rent. They'll kick me out. Once they kick me out, I have to move back in with my parents. I'm moving with my parents, people will see me and start abusing me. So we already have a line of events that might never happen. And that is where we need to start thinking more or in a submissive way, and just saying that, look, I didn't bring myself to earth here, so I'm not going to sustain myself. I'm not the one that sustains myself. Everything I need has been provided for me before time. So if this job goes, another thing will come to sustain me. And you realize that you live life more audaciously that way.
It's interesting you said it, because I just want to add, like, the fear, what we fear, like the worst thing we fear that's going to happen now when I get kicked out of this job, this will happen, they'll kick me out of, like, most times I'm talking from my own personal experience, like more than 90% of the time it never happened. It's the trick that our mind keeps playing with us, that this is what will happen if you don't, like, we keep expecting this. So long as, because I believe that so long as you do not give up and surrender to whatever life is throwing at you and just like, hey, I've just given up on all that, but that fear or that thing we keep building up, that imagination we keep building up, most of the times, like 95% of the times, it doesn't happen. And the funny thing is that for that 5% that it happens, you find yourself bouncing back better almost like immediately if you do not give up. Like, so, well, I think it's just like you said.
Exactly.
As humans, we just have this need for control, and this has been the rebellion that I've been fighting since the days of the Garden of Eden. Because I think it's a human thing, because we want to control everything and then control what's Because look at the now I'm not trying to preach, but it's just life. Just the airplane illustration you made. We walk into, for those that fly a lot, you fly from, you see, I have a friend of mine that's constantly always in the air, and then you walk into an aircraft or an airplane and all that, you don't see the pilot, you comfortably strap your belt, and like you have so much trust in a man or a woman that you're not even seeing. And then somehow we battle to have trust for God that we still don't see, but somehow constantly he has proven himself that like he is God, and like we just, so I think it's a battle of the mind. It's really a battle of the mind, and I don't know, maybe if you have any final round of this, I think it's a battle of the mind.
Yeah, I think in conclusion, just to buttress what you said, I've told you this story before, but I lost my biggest client in 2020. They were my biggest client.
Yeah.
I made most of my money in business from this client. Everything I did around my personal life was almost funded, in quotes, by this client. So you see, but we kind of parted ways in 2020. And it just came out of me not wanting to stand for certain conditions anymore. And these are conditions that I've been enduring, but I just felt, if I should air my grievance or air this thing, they would stop working with me. And then what would I do? But at a point I just couldn't take it anymore, and I said, no, I can't work under this kind of condition. And we parted ways. And the first fear I had was, oh, these people have gone. Oh, okay, so now I'm just going to watch my lifestyle dip. I'm going to have to change the way I live and what I do and what I buy and what we can afford. But you know what happened? My lifestyle got better. Do you understand? Better people came. I started earning more. In fact, I started earning even more than double the amount I was earning with this client. Oh. And I kind of just realized, oh man, so it wasn't really the client. Do you understand? It wasn't the client that was sustaining me. So for every time you kind of see, oh, a job go, the confidence to let the job go and just open yourself up to the fact that somebody's got your back. God's got your back. He's not going to see you hungry. You understand? He's not going to see you hungry. So it's that confidence that makes you feel like, oh, I can do this. You understand? And I'm going to be okay. It's that fact that you can tell yourself you'll be okay at the end of the day that makes you make very clear, good decisions for yourself. So you must know you'll be okay, not just in business, in relationships. Some people just feel, oh man, if I break this relationship with this person that I'm not really enjoying, which is a toxic relationship, I'm too old. Will I start looking for somebody? Will I find somebody? Will anybody be attracted to me? Understand? And that's why they stay in relationships that are kind of cancerous. You understand? So, but your audacity to say, I know myself, I know what I deserve. I don't deserve this treatment I'm getting in this relationship or in this job, and because of that, I am going to walk away. And I'm not walking away with the fear that something good will not come. I know something better will come. You would realize that at the end of the day, as you said, something better will come. Those your fears will not come to reality. That fear that you'll be alone for the rest of your life will not happen. You will find someone that would appreciate you and want to be in a relationship with you and treat you well. You'll find a client that will appreciate you and want to pay you more. You understand? So in the end, just remember, you're surrounded with everything you need to succeed. You're surrounded with everything you need. So you don't need to take things that bring you down or things that make you compromise your standard or your peace. Know that you have access to everything you need to succeed. Everything you need to succeed is at your feet. And God makes it available at the time you need it.
Yeah. All right, folks, I think I can't say more. You've heard it all and all. And so the first thing is discover yourself. Discover the things you value, and let your values, let your life be part of everything you let it be intertwined in what you do in your business. That way you will enjoy doing what you do. Forget about the external, look internal first, and ultimately understand that you are not the one to sustain yourself. It's not your job. It has never been your job to have control. It has never been your job to sustain. You'll be arrogant thinking that it's your job. That's when you're that's when you're playing against the tide. Well, thank you so much, sir. Like, it's been this was supposed to be a very like a 30 minutes conversation, but I really appreciate, like, thank you so much for helping us understand better in terms of operating business, even not just business, relationship and all that, for understanding our lifestyle as against taking what people are saying and then what others are more of like the external factors and all. We appreciate you always, and then we look forward to more conversations like this. All right, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It's always good to be here.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, guys, till next time. Now remember, I'm still your host, Ojibe, and see you on the next episode. Peace.